Hello students, today we will be exploring the topic of arrays and matrix in MATLAB. Let's first revise vector defining in MATLAB, as a vector is defined as x is equal to 1, 2, 5, 1, assuming this is the vector. When we execute it, we have the answer as x is equal to 1, 2, 5 and 1. So this is 1 row and 4 columns. Now let's see how to write a matrix. Here a matrix is assumed, or let's assume it as x is equal to 1, 2, 3, a semicolon, 5, 1, 4, a semicolon, and 3, 2, minus 1. The semicolon separates the rows, and so when we execute it, we get a matrix of 3 columns and 3 rows. That is a matrix of 3 by 3, which is 3 rows and 3 columns. Moving on with the matrix, now let's say that I want to take the transpose of the matrix X. So I write down as y is equal to transpose of X. And so when I have it as 1, 2, 5 and 1 as one row, here taking the transpose, I get an answer as y is equal to 1, 2, 5 and 1, which means that I have one column. Students, we can create matrix in MATLAB in series or with specific increments or decrements too. Let's see with an example. Here t is equal to 1 colon 10, meaning that create a matrix from 1 to 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 as a whole matrix array. Now let's move on to the next example, where k is equal to 2 colon minus 0.5 colon minus 1, meaning create a matrix with an interval of minus 0.5 from 2 to minus 1, and thus we created it as 2, 1.5, 1, 0.5, 0, minus 0.5 and minus 1. Let's go to the next example, where b is equal to 1 colon 4 semicolon 5 colon 8, meaning create a matrix with first row from 1 to 4, second row from 5 to 8, and thus we get it as b is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 in first row and 5, 6, 7, 8 in the next row. Let us assume one small example too, where assuming that I have a matrix called A, which is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 16. That means 4 by 4 matrix. Now here I want to create a new matrix which is defined as 2 colon 4 comma 1 colon 2. Now there is a difference of semicolon and a colon. You need to remember it. So what does this mean? This means that create a new matrix from an original matrix from where the row has to be from 2 to 4 and the column has to be from 1 to 2. Thus, what do we get is the second row from row 2 to row 4, that is 5, 9, 13, and the columns are first column and the second column, and so we have 6, 10 and 14 too. Now moving on to the next, where we have few inbuilt functions or inbuilt commands for creating the matrix as 0 m by n, which is, if I say x is equal to zeros 1, 3, meaning create a matrix of all zeros for one row, 3 columns. Next, let's create a matrix of all ones, where we have to write down ones m, n, where I'll say that x is equal to ones in the bracket 1, 3, meaning create a matrix of all ones with one row, 3 columns. What if I would have written down as x is equal to ones 3 by 3 or 3, 3? So what would have happened? I would have created the matrix of all ones with 3 by 3 of size. Let's go for the next one, that is rand. Now this is one of the function to create a matrix which is going to create a matrix with random from 0 to 1. So rand 1, 3, again the same, which is one row, 3 columns. All the numbers created in this matrix will be between 0 to 1 only. Are these 3 inbuilt functions the only functions in matrix? No, there are many. I'll list down few of them. A very similar function of creating matrix is rand n m, n, which is rand n. Now what is the difference between rand m, n and rand n m, n is that it will create the new one, that is rand n. This function will create the random function of any numbers for rows, given rows and column dimension. One more function which is EYE in the bracket m, n, which is the I function, which will create an identity matrix with dimensions of row, column.